Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Beena, and this lovely little fella here is Walter. Hope you're doing well. It is sometime in October, I think. Yeah, maybe. It's a lovely sunny Sunday afternoon in Bedfordshire. We're just off out on a little bimble around. Off to the garden centre actually, so I can get Mrs. Beena some chili lily that she likes from there, and if I'm honest, also because there are some really nice blackcurrant bakewell tarts that they have, which I like. So that's how old I am. Sunday afternoon, going to the garden centre for food, for snacks. Oh, I am very tired today. It's the clocks went back last night. Yeah, went back an hour, which should be good because you should be getting a nice extra hour in bed. But the reality is, if you have a pet, they have no idea that they're getting an extra hour in bed and they want to get up at the time they usually get up. And unfortunately at the moment my dog likes to get up around about 5 to 5:30 a.m. So consequently I was up at 4 to 4:30 a.m. this morning. So I'm absolutely knackered, but I am on leave from work for a week, so I'll definitely claw that time back with some nice naps in the afternoon, thus signifying how I'm old again. What should we have a ramble about this week? Because as always, this has been meticulously planned and thought out. And I've definitely not just got on my bike, left the house, well, not in that order obviously, that would be strange. Yeah, definitely not just got on, started riding and thought, oh no, I've got to talk about something. Pheasant, the stupidest bird in the world when it comes to road sense. Let's see, what can we have an answer about? I did have one of my subscribers who suggested something a while back when I asked people to come up with topics, and that was Dwayne, if I remember. And he wanted to know what my thoughts were on the current Royal Enfield range, my likes and dislikes. Why did I pick that? Because I've never actually ridden any of the other ones. I'm going to have to go on aesthetics alone, I think, Dwayne, I'm afraid. I mean, I guess with the J series engines, the classic 350, the Hunter, the Bullet, the Meteor, that's all of them, isn't it? Yeah. I guess they're much of a muchness really, because the platform is pretty much the same. With their shared engine. Now I have ridden two of those, so I can give my thoughts on those, and that would be the Bullet, obviously, and the Hunter, which I had as a loan bike when Walter here was in for his first service. So they're easy to do. I guess the classic 350 is very similar, isn't it? There's not a great deal of difference between the classic 350 and the Bullet. I think the handlebars are maybe slightly higher on the Bullet, if I recall, and obviously the seat is different. But yeah, I mean I've sat on the classic 350, but I haven't ridden one. So purely from that point of view, I'll say it was all right. Felt pretty much the same. Obviously the seat was different configuration. It felt pretty comfortable, but I don't know what it would be like on a long journey. I know the seat on mine is incredibly comfortable. can sit in this for hours, no problem at all. But yeah, I think those two are probably the most similar. I've sat on the Meteor as well. I'm not a fan of the kind of cruiser style feet forward setup, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I say that I've never actually ridden one, and sitting on it, it was very, very comfy. It was very laid back, but I can imagine that would put some pain on my coccyx. So probably not for me. It just feels a bit weird and unnatural having feet forward for me. I know a lot of people like it, but again, I guess that riding dynamics other than that is going to be pretty similar. Interestingly enough, when I wanted to, when I was first looking to buy a Royal Enfield, and actually I was first interested in the Signals version, so I quite like the very badly named Marsh Grey green one. The dealership that I went to, I won't name them, I said to them, you know, I'd like to do a test ride to see if I like them or not. Do you have a test 350, classic 350? And they didn't. They only had a Meteor as a test bike. And they said, yeah, we've got the Meteor, it's the same engine, so, you know, people generally take that out. And I thought, well, that's a completely different style bike, really, isn't it, in terms of riding position, at least, with your feet forward. So how can you get a good appreciation of what a classic 350 is going to be like by riding the Meteor? You know, there are going to be similarities, the engine's going to feel the same, etc., and the brakes, whatnot, but riding position's, you know, quite fundamental, isn't it? So I must admit that put me off using that dealership a little bit. That and the fact that when I sat on the classic 350, the brake pedal, not the brake pedal, sorry, the gear shift lever was too low. Was it too low? Yeah. So my foot really wouldn't fit under it. So, you know, the stock positioning of that lever isn't great, really, if you've got big feet, and I've not got particularly big feet. I'm a UK size 9. So I said to them as well, you know, if I wanted to take a ride out on one, is there any way you could adjust that pedal? And they weren't sure that you could do that, which again raised some alarm bells with me, because I thought, well, I've looked online and I've seen people do it and talk about it, because it is a bit of a thing with it. So yeah, those two things kind of put me off using that dealership. Didn't know about altering a pedal. Didn't have a loaner bike of the particular one I wanted. So in the end I used a different one. They were very, very good. And when I raised the issue with the pedal with them, when I said I wanted to do a ride one, they said, well, we do that as standard with all of ours that come, because we know that it's a problem. So brilliant, well done, Cooper motorcycles. Very good. So anyway, I got a little bit off topic there, didn't I? So, which way have I come from here? Never mind. So yeah, like I say, I can't really give an opinion on those two. I think they're beautiful looking bikes, obviously. I mean, a classic 350 is very pretty, all the chrome, etc. I mean, that did kind of put me off a little bit, because I'm not big and not into cleaning bikes. Yeah, they're very pretty. I'd happily have one of those. The Meteor, I'm not really a cruiser type person, so it's not really my cup of tea, but I guess if you were... Oh, can't go there. Oh, that's kind of scuppered me a little bit. Let's go around. Yeah, I guess if you are into that kind of cruiser aesthetic and you didn't want something with a twatting great engine in it, then it'd be absolutely ideal. But yeah, not for me. Again, they're okay looking. I don't really like the little backresty bit on the rear seat, and in fact that's a bit of a point of contention, bone of contention for me as well with the classic 350. I really don't like that dual seat setup. so you had to take the rear one off to just have the single seat. It's just a bit of a faff. So that's those two. The Hunter, like I say, I had that as a loan bike when Walter was in for a service. I love that. I thought it was a real hoot. Really good fun. Very light, really nimble. It felt quite small, so I mean that's the only kind of downside for me as someone who's 6'1". It felt a little bit cramped for me, and particularly with the slightly rearward facing foot pegs. I mean, they're not dramatically so, but they just feel it compared to the Bullet. But otherwise, that was such good fun, that bike. It was really chuckable. It's definitely one of those bikes that the old adage about it's more fun going quickly on a slow bike than going slowly on a quick bike. It definitely rings true with that one, because I had to ride that for an hour each way through some nice twisty country roads, and it was just so much fun. So yeah, I could 100% recommend one of those. I really like those. Some of the colour schemes I think are maybe a little bit bland. I think if I was going to have one, I'd definitely go for the blue and white. I think that looks really cool, and the red and black's pretty cool as well. The one that I had as a loaner was the grey one. Apologies if you have one of the grey ones, but I just thought it just looked a bit bland. Didn't really do it. I quite like the modern touch of the two-tone and the big Royal Enfield lettering. So yeah, that gets a big thumbs up for me. And I think if you're a new biker, that'd be an absolutely brilliant first bike. Really confidence inspiring, and with a lightweight, yeah, perfect. So what others have we got on the range? We have the Himalayan. So the 411 is one that I am very much considering as a winter hack. Although not this year. Well, maybe we'll get into that a bit later. Yeah, I quite like the sort of agricultural nature of that, and the fact that it's often referred to as kind of the Land Rover Defender of the bike world. And with a lot of the roads around here being absolutely atrocious in the winter, I think it'd be an ideal one. So yeah, I like those. In contrast, the new 450 I'm not a fan of at all. It just looks a bit kind of generic adventure bike styling for me. I get why they're doing it, why they've gone down that road, because they want to appeal to a younger audience and a different audience that not into the retro classic aesthetic. But yeah, I think it's I think as a Himalayan, it's kind of lost a little bit of its mojo, a bit of its magic that the original had. Cool, some like on a monkey bike there, going for a ramble through the woods. Very cool. So yeah, not a fan of that. The Interceptor is a lovely bike. If it wasn't so heavy, I'd probably be tempted by that, but I've got some issues with my joints, so God, I wish I'd worn my dark visor. It's a bit gloomy through here. So yeah, it puts me off a little bit, it being a bit heavy. And obviously coming back into riding after quite a long break, I wanted something that wasn't necessarily going to be that quick. And I know they're not really fast, but it'd have been fast enough to get me into trouble, I think. But otherwise, yeah, it's a really pretty bike. I really like the Mars Bar version, and obviously the silver and chrome as well. That's pretty cool. And I think they're a tremendous value for what they are as well. I mean, they're definitely a competitor for the Bonneville, kind of a budget Bonneville if you like, but by all accounts they ride pretty well and very, very comparable with the Bonneville. And having ridden a Bonneville, albeit one from probably around about 2008, 2009, it didn't really do it for me. It felt a little bit bland and anemic. It was almost too refined. It kind of lost some of the character, particularly coming from the Bonneville Scrambler that I had, which was really raw and with the 270-degree crank, which gave it a really nice characterful engine and exhaust note, whereas the Bonnevilles at the time were 360-degree cranks, and yeah, they were just a bit too smooth, I felt. That guy's still behind me on his monkey bike. I'd love to go on one of those. But yeah, that's the Interceptor. What else do we have? We have the Gorilla, which is, I guess, what the Scram is to the 411. The Gorilla kind of is, kind of isn't to the 450. It's more of a street bike, isn't it? And again, like I said with the 450, it's not really my cup of tea. It's gone down that modern route. Again, I'm sure it's a fantastic bike by all accounts. It seems to be, but yeah. I think if you took away the funky colour schemes with it, I'm not sure it'd look as good as it does. But, you know, it's all subjective, I guess, isn't it? And of course the Scram. Now, even though I really like the 411 Hemi, the Scram doesn't do it for me at all. I think it looks a little bit almost coupled together. That is so cool. Sorry, I was just admiring the monkey bike there. Let's navigate this. Yeah, the Scram doesn't really do it for me. I'm not sure how popular the Scram's been. You don't really see a lot of YouTube videos about it, or maybe it's just because I haven't been searching for them. But I feel like it maybe hasn't been one of their most popular models. Maybe you can tell me otherwise in the comments if you have one or you think differently. As always, if you think differently about anything in my videos, tell me in the comments. I'm pretty thick-skinned, and it's good to have a healthy debate, isn't it? So what else have we got? I'm sure I'm going to miss something because I don't keep up to date with all of the models. So that's Gorilla. I'm sure there's one that I'm missing. Is there one that I'm missing? I think that's it, isn't it? Well, apologies if I'm missing a bike that you own. No, can't think off the top of my head, so I think that is the whole range. So I mean, on the whole, I sound quite negative about them, don't I? But like I say, it is just subjective taste, isn't it, what you like. I think generally they've got a really strong lineup. And when they introduced the classic 650, I'm sure they'll sell a ton of those as well. But yeah, I mean, they don't have many duds, do they? People generally seem to receive them really well, and they're very well loved. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing in there that I really hate. It's something that I have very very apathetic feelings towards, and something that I really like. I mean, I guess if I was to do my top 3, I would probably say, well, obviously I'm going to say a Bullet 350 because beautiful Walter. Second, I would probably say the Hunter, because it's just such a great bike. I mean, I could say the 350, but it's very similar to the Bullet. So I think if you were looking for a classic styled one and you wasn't too fussed about the chrome, I think between the classic 350 and the Bullet, it's much of a muchness, isn't it, really? Styling's almost the same. But the Hunter is just that little bit different. It has that classic, has that retro kind of look to it, but a modern twist on it. I think it's a fabulous bike. I think if I didn't have strong feelings on the Bullet and the looks of it, and I just wanted to get a first bike and I rode those two back to back, I have a feeling that I may well have gotten the Hunter. It's that good. So yeah, here we go. Bullet, then the Hunter, and then probably, well, I haven't ridden the Himalayan, so I can't say whether that would be in third, because I might hate it when I ride it. I'm going to say, just purely based on looks, the classic 350, and I'm going to say the Signals variant, which might be controversial because I know everyone likes a bit of chrome, and the bronze one is very pretty, the red one's very pretty, but I really like that kind of army aesthetic. I think it pulls it off quite well, so I'm going to go for that one for my number 3. That was a big bump. So what do you think? What's your top 3 Royal Enfield models, in what order? Tell me in the comments below, tell me why, and I'll tell you why you're wrong. I'm kidding. Right, I'm nearly back at the garden centre now, so I'm probably going to keep this quite short. I say that I have no idea how long I've been waffling for. I say that's all I've got for today, and inevitably it's like 40 minutes. But no, I'm gonna sign off now and go and get myself some nice snacks, and Mrs. Beena some not so nice chili lily. So as always, have a great week, stay safe, keep the shiny side up, and I will see you next time. Bye.